While the owner of a luxury minivan is sitting at the repair shop crying over a bill that costs as much as a full month's paycheck, there are 4 minivans that the entire world mocks for being cheap, for being basic, for being the van that shows up in every parking lot joke and every road trip movie as the symbol of giving up on life. And those same minivans have hundreds of thousands of miles on them, without the engine even noticing. And the funniest part is that most of those luxury van owners don't even know what they have under the hood. They just know how to make the monthly payment and smile for the photos. Today on AutoNexus, I'm going to show you 4 minivans that people disrespect in parking lots, side-eye at stoplights, and use as the punchline of every suburban dad joke on the internet, but that are hiding engines so indestructible underneath that they make every luxury minivan costing 3 times as much look absolutely ridiculous. We're going from number 4, the one you least expected, all the way to number 1. The van that, according to documented reliability data across millions of real repair invoices, simply refuses to die. Stay until the end, because number 1 is going to surprise you more than you think. Let's get into it. Van number 4. We start with the minivan that became the most mocked vehicle in the American used car market. The one people use as a synonym for giving up. The one your friends mention when they want to make you feel bad about your life decisions. The Dodge Grand Caravan SE, 2011 to 2020. If you've ever seen a white minivan with a landscaping company logo on the door, or a church transport service sticker on the back window, there's a reasonable chance it was one of these. And right there is the irony, because the minivan that people associate with personal failure has underneath the hood exactly the same engine as the Ram 1500 pickup, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, and the Chrysler 300 luxury sedan. Exactly the same block. The Pentastar V6, 3.6 liters, 283 horsepower. Chrysler deployed this engine across minivans, trucks, SUVs, and luxury sedans simultaneously for over a decade because it was versatile and robust enough to work under completely different demand conditions without compromising in either direction. No turbocharger. No forced induction complexity accumulating failure modes with every mile. Just a naturally aspirated V6 that the Ram 1500 uses to haul loads over mountain passes. Available in a minivan the market is practically giving away because it has a plastic interior and no rear entertainment screen. And a Grand Caravan SE base, without leather, without screens, without any of the extras that make a minivan feel expensive, is available today between $5,000 and $9,000. Someone paid between $22,000 and $26,000 for this when it was new. Someone absorbed that depreciation so you don't have to. Here I have to stop because this channel always tells you the complete truth and not just the part that sells. The Pentastar in the earliest production years, specifically 2011 to 2013, had a documented concern with rocker arm bolts that could loosen and generate a metallic noise in the valve train. Chrysler issued a technical update, and many examples were addressed under warranty or at dealers. From 2014 onward, this specific concern does not appear in owner data with the same frequency. So if you can target 2014 onward within this generation, you are buying the corrected version of the same engine. What to check before buying? Check the oil level before starting the engine because the Pentastar on high mileage examples can consume some oil between changes, and you need to know what condition this specific example arrived in. Test the automatic transmission in the first to second gear change at low speed in slow traffic, feeling for any hesitation or harshness that indicates the fluid was neglected. And verify the power sliding door mechanism on both sides cycles completely without pauses, since cable wear on hard-use examples can cause irregular movement. Independent pre-purchase inspection from any Chrysler familiar shop, $150. The reason this van is available for $7,000 with the same Pentastar V6 the RAM 1500 uses to do real work is that the body style did all the damage the engine never did. Their loss is your opportunity. Van number 3. In third place comes the minivan that most people don't even remember existed. The one that if you mention it in a conversation about used vans, you get a look of genuine confusion. The one that Nissan discontinued so completely that the market forgot about it so fast you can barely find one showing up in used car search results without specifically knowing what you're looking for. The Nissan Quest, second generation, 2004 to 2009. Don't call it overlooked like that's a defect. Call it invisible, because that is exactly what makes it an opportunity. A fully equipped 2007 Quest SL left the dealership for between $30,000 and $34,000 brand new. Today you find examples between $4,000 and $8,000. Someone absorbed over $25,000 in depreciation, so you don't have to. And what they left behind has underneath the hood the VQ35DE V6, 3.5 liters, 240 horsepower. And here is the data point that will completely change your perspective on this van. The VQ35DE is the same engine family that Nissan installed in the 350Z sports car. The same block. The same architecture that sports car owners specifically sought out for its documented durability and response. In a minivan that nobody looks at in the parking lot and that you can buy for $5,000. When Nissan puts the same heart in a 2-seat sports car and a 7-passenger family minivan simultaneously, that is not a cost reduction decision. It is a signal that the engine is robust and versatile enough to work under completely opposite demand conditions without compromising in either direction. The VQ35DE is naturally aspirated, no turbo, no forced induction accumulating failure modes. The 5-speed automatic transmission that pairs with it is a conventional box that Nissan had refined across multiple platforms before installing it here. Here I have to tell you the complete truth, because that is what this channel does. This generation of Quest has a documented concern with the valve cover gasket sealing that over time can generate oil leaks visible around the top of the engine. In most cases, this is a cosmetic and smell issue rather than a structural failure. And gasket replacement is an inexpensive repair that any Nissan familiar independent shop can complete without specialist tools. But you need to know it exists before you negotiate the price. I'm not here to sell you the Quest. I'm here so you know exactly what you're getting into before the seller tells you only the good part. What to check before buying. Look for oil traces around the valve cover and at the back of the engine where the gaskets have the most tendency to generate leaks on this generation. It is not a reason to walk away from a good example. It is a reason to negotiate the price of the preventive service. Verify the automatic transmission fluid history with documented changes at the correct intervals. And test all the second-row seat lateral movement functions, since the mechanism on high-mileage family use examples can develop resistance that is not serious but worth knowing about before you buy. Independent pre-purchase inspection from any Nissan familiar shop, $150. The reason this van is available for $5,000 with the sports car engine the 350Z enthusiast community seeks out specifically for documented durability is that the market forgot it existed the moment Nissan discontinued it. Their loss is your opportunity. Van number 2. In second place comes the van from the brand that for years was the synonym for buying cheap because you couldn't afford anything better. The one where people would quietly wonder if things were going okay for whoever showed up in one. The one that Kia launched in America to prove it could compete in the minivan segment, and the market responded with almost total indifference. The Kia Sedona second generation, 2006 to 2014. And yes, I know exactly what you're thinking. A Kia, in second place, on the eternal engines list. Exactly that one. And that reaction is the primary reason it is on this list. Because that reaction is what generated the depreciation that puts it today between $4,500 and $8,000 with a Lambda V6 engine of 3.8 liters that Kia did not build for a cheap minivan. They built it to prove they could match the established players. A Sedona EX fully equipped from 2010 left the dealership for between $30,000 and $33,000 brand new. Today you find clean examples between $4,500 and $8,000. Someone absorbed over $24,000 in depreciation so you don't have to. The Lambda V6 of 3.8 liters produces around 244 horsepower. Naturally aspirated, no turbo, no forced induction complexity accumulating invisible wear. Kia installed this same engine in the Amante, the Borrego, and multiple platforms simultaneously because it was the engine with which the brand was trying to prove that the reputation of the 90s did not define what they were capable of building in the following decade. Here is where this list tells you the complete truth, and not just the good part. The Lambda 3.8 of this specific generation does not have the history of catastrophic failures that affected other Kia and Hyundai engines of later generations. Specifically, the Theta 2 2.0 and 2.4-liter engines that generated class-action lawsuits and mass recalls for documented oil consumption and engine failures in thousands of units. The Lambda 3.8 is a completely different conversation. Documented long-term owners of this Sedona generation report engines crossing 250,000 kilometers on the original engine without major intervention, with service history that comes down to regular oil changes and fluids at the correct intervals. That is all. It is not the most sophisticated engine on this list. But it is the engine Kia built when they had something to prove, and that motivation shows in the long-term owner data. What to check before buying. The oil change history with the correct grade for this engine, because the Lambda rewards disciplined maintenance and punishes neglect in a way that becomes visible in oil consumption between changes on high-mileage examples. The condition of engine seals and gaskets in the visual inspection before starting, looking for any oil trace around the valve cover or at the base of the block. And test the automatic transmission in the first to second gear change at low speed in slow traffic, which is where the real condition of the fluid shows itself in the behavior of the box. With those 3 points covered, you are taking home the engine Kia built when it still needed to earn the respect the market denied it for a decade. In a minivan that the market discarded for the logo on the front without asking what was behind that logo. Their loss is your opportunity. Van number 1. And here we are. The van that earned this spot not by being the most loaded or the most attention-grabbing, but by having the most documented engine in the entire segment in the body that generates the least respect in the used car market. The one people scroll past looking for the leather version and the premium audio, without realizing the engine under the hood is exactly the same regardless of how much plastic and fabric is sitting on top of it. The Toyota Sienna LE base, 2004 to 2010. Not the XLE with leather and big wheels, not the limited with premium audio and ventilated seats. The base version, the most basic of all, the one that shows up at a parking lot and nobody turns to look because it has nothing calling attention from the outside. And that collective indifference is what puts it today between $4,000 and $7,000 with the 2GR FE 3.5-liter V6 underneath. The same 2GR FE that Toyota installed in the Camry V6, the RAV4, the Highlander, the Avalon, the Venza, and multiple Lexus models simultaneously for years. The same engine that specialized Toyota shops describe as one of the most over-engineered of the brand, with internal tolerances above what is strictly necessary for the work it is being asked to do, which in practice means it accepts occasional neglect with a patience that engines designed at the limit of their specifications simply do not have. 266 horsepower, naturally aspirated, no turbo, no forced induction. Timing chain that Toyota designed to last the entire useful life of the engine without intervention. There are Sienna LE base examples with this engine, documented at independent shops across the country, crossing 400,000 kilometers, with the original block never having been opened. 400,000 kilometers with the original engine. Not in the limited version with Napa leather and premium audio. In the base version, with hard plastic and cloth upholstery that the market discards, looking for something that looks more expensive. And there is the complete secret of this entire video in one single image. The market pays more for the minivan with leather and screens because it looks more expensive. Both have exactly the same engine. The base version is $3,000 or $4,000 cheaper than the XLE of the same year and same mileage on the current used market. That price difference has no relationship to the mechanics. It has to do with how many layers of leather the seats have and whether the rear entertainment screen works or not. The engine does not know if the seats are leather or cloth. It keeps being the same 2GR FE, with the same documented history of 400,000 kilometers, regardless of what is sitting on top of it. The 5-speed automatic transmission that accompanies the engine in this generation is the same box that Toyota refined for years before installing it here. It is not the most modern in the segment. It is the most proven. And proven in a Toyota minivan means the mechanics who know it know exactly what to expect, exactly what to check, and exactly what fluid to use so it keeps shifting, just as predictably for the next 200,000 kilometers. Here I have to give you the complete truth. because this channel does nothing else. This generation of Sienna had a documented concern with the piston design on some examples that could generate above normal oil consumption on high mileage units. Toyota addressed this in later generations by redesigning the piston, but on examples of this specific generation oil consumption between changes is something to verify before buying. It is not a catastrophic failure. It is documented behavior that with a simple inspection before the purchase can be identified, and in the negotiation, it becomes a price tool rather than a reason to walk away from a good example. What to check before buying. Verify oil consumption by starting the engine cold, letting it warm up, turning it off, and checking the dipstick level immediately after. If the level is correct on a high mileage example, it is a good sign that the pistons are not consuming oil abnormally. Confirm the oil change history with the correct grade specified by Toyota for this engine, with records on paper or digital system the seller can show at the moment. Verify the condition of the automatic transmission in the smooth gear changes during the first 10 minutes of cold driving, which is when the real condition of the fluid shows itself in the behavior of the box. With those 3 points covered, you are taking home the 2GR FE, the engine Toyota deployed in the Camry, the Highlander, and the Lexus simultaneously, documented to 400,000 kilometers at independent shops, in a base cloth interior minivan that the market is giving away because the seats are not leather. Their loss is your opportunity. 4 minivans, 4 engines the market has completely failed to read correctly, and one truth that runs through all of them. The market priced these vans based on the interior, the badge, and the body style, without ever asking what was under the hood. The Dodge Grand Caravan SE with the same Pentastar V6 the RAM 1500 uses to haul loads over mountain passes, available for $7,000 in a body that the market uses as the punchline of every suburban parking lot joke. The Nissan Quest second generation, with the engine from the 350Z sports car, available for $5,000 in a minivan, the market forgot existed the moment Nissan stopped producing it. The Kia Sedona second generation with the Lambda V6 that Kia built when it still had something to prove, available for $6,000 in a body the market discarded, based entirely on what the badge used to mean, rather than what the engine actually delivers. And the Toyota Sienna LE base with the 2GR FE that Toyota put in the Camry, the Highlander, and the Lexus simultaneously, documented to 400,000 kilometers at independent shops, available for $5,000 in the version the market skips over, looking for the one with leather. Do you know what these 4 vans have in common beyond the engine? The people who own them don't want to sell them. Ask any owner of a Sienna LE base with 250,000 kilometers if they would sell it. They'll tell you no, because they know they're not going to find another vehicle with that engine at that price anywhere. Ask any owner of a Quest with 200,000 kilometers on the VQ35 if they regret not buying something with a better-known name. They'll smile. These are not vans for people who want to impress neighbors in the parking lot. They are vans for people who learned that what matters is not the logo on the sliding door, not the number of speakers in the audio system, and definitely not how the interior looked in the listing photos. What matters is under the hood. It was always under the hood. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, because that button tells the algorithm to show this to every buyer who is about to overpay for a logo when the eternal engine is available for the price of a new phone. Subscribe to AutoNexus. Every single week we find the engineering stories the market forgot and the prices that make them impossible to ignore. Unloved, underpriced, built to outlast everything around them. Buy smart, not by trend. See you next time.